Hey folks, WooFDriver coming at you live. I don't know if I'm sideways or not, but we're getting some snow here. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what's going on. We've got the dogs here, as you can see, the wolf pack. We're rocking out here. I'm gonna walk around the truck here. We're at the C&O Canal, folks, at a place called Point of Rocks. The snow is coming. We got some hail happening now. Wind us a little bit, and we're going out in rough conditions, but that's what we do. That's part of WooFDriver. The reason we're actually doing it today is because this is the only day that looked best, weather-wise. Even though, well, let me rephrase that. The day I could get out that looked best. Chris and Jim are preparing the first bike. Today we're using what I call kind of like big wheels. Kind of like if you were a kid, if you're old enough to remember, they used to have big wheels. Two big wheels in the front, one in the back. And we've got, I don't use this one much because this is a single person bike. And we got Princess's bed right there in the back, as you can see. That's our special attachment. Problems with some of these bikes are, a lot of them, because they use so many different parts, they're resourced from all over the world because of the unique design, I should say, that the valves on here are European, and unfortunately we don't have a European valve adapter with us today, so we're trying to adapt this so we don't have to adapt what we have to, so we don't have to run and get one, because we're trying to beat the real bad weather. If you hear music in the background, it's all WooFDriver music, and we're jamming out. It's a big party out here. You're looking at the four-wheel drive vehicle. I call it the Jumbo Jet Truck Liner. Got all the wolf pack with us. Jagster, Zorro, the Chase Man, and don't forget the pretty princess back there, taking hot Zorro. So conditions are, it's been really cold here. Most of the country has pretty cold conditions. We're in this Arctic freeze. It's actually letting up today. Hello from Sweden. Hello Vladimir. Hello Eva. Great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been really cold here in the United States, Arctic temperatures. I think yesterday, well, the high was like 11 degrees yesterday, and lows below zero. Dogs love it, of course. A little hard for us humans. But it's starting a warming trend now, and that's why we're out here right now. So, by the way, the other bike is a two-seater bike. These are all built for the dogs, but the guys ride them too, and because I'm taking a single bike, someone will follow me, because again, these trails, especially in conditions like this, are just uncharted territory. There's not many people out here, being the cold and snow, hail conditions. Hello from Ohio, Jacob, good to see you. Ina, you are right, this is the doggy limo. When I pull up in this vehicle at my veterinarian's office, they go, the Shaggy Mobile's here. So, got different names, but basically it's the dog limo. And the funny thing here is, I can open the door. Let me just unlock it. We keep it locked just in case Jag wants to run. I'm only kidding, Jag's not going anywhere. As you see, the steps come out automatically, which is really cool. They're retractable, and they come out when the door opens to let the dogs out, especially as the dogs get older, especially like Princess. As she's 14 years old, believe it or not, she can climb up those steps a lot easier. The truck is higher than most trucks. We've elevated it to go through different terrains where we travel to be able to access different trails. So it's got a light bar on top. This light bar is super bright. Remember today, with the invention of LEDs, you can light up a stadium with the strip of those, it seems like. You can see we got the four-wheel drive, just in case someone didn't know we had dogs in the vehicle. They might figure it out with that. So, by the way, I did mention we're listening to the WooFDriver Jam channel. We're on SoundCloud, and we've got a website called All Dog Radio where you can find all my channels. I've been doing this stuff for better than 20 years, folks. So, in case you didn't know, I'm dyslexic, and I can't write as well as I can describe situations and what I do orally, talking about it. So what I did was I found a way to express myself through music, believe it or not, because I love it. So you don't have to be grammatically correct, and you can jump around your sentences, different ideas. and music comes into play there. So I work with a team of musicians, actually all over the world I've worked with musicians, and they put this music together for me, and it's all WooFDriver. A lot of them are parodies, so they're songs you'll recognize, beats and melodies you'll recognize with my lyrics. This one's a Beatles classic called Day Tripper. This is dog tripping, what we're doing right now. So while we have time, the guys are setting up. This is the back of the truck. We keep a cabinet in here with all different tools, attachments, and everything we'll need when we're out here. Because a lot of times we go to remote places and all we got are what's in the truck. I'm also using a lot of equipment that is very specialized for filming and for the dogs, of course. So I need to be able to have access to that equipment when I'm out doing what we're doing, adventuring. So, and that's where we're at right now, folks. You can see this place is empty. It's hailing now, but it's starting to let up, which is kind of nice. We're gonna get on the trail. We're just, as I was describing before, we're getting out here now because the real frigid temperatures, we couldn't get out. It was too much with my schedule, what was going on. Usually I'm pretty hardcore and I try to get out here as much as possible. But we were down for about 5 or 6 days since our last run. So we're back at it today. Temperatures are starting to warm. With my schedule this week, this was pretty much the only day I could take a long trip like I do. Except for I'm trying to open up Friday, so we have 2 long trips. But remember, in between long trips, I do a lot of free ranging where the dogs are off leash. And I do other activities such as what I call the Amazing Chase. It's lure coursing, an activity designed for dogs. And you can see the dogs are relatively calm because they know this routine. They have done this many a times. And you can see Chase is even chilling. And Chase, Zorro, and Jagger, each 9 years old. Princess is again 14. And they're pretty much veterans at this. Princess is really cool because she gets to run with a bike. And then she can, when she's done, she can have a seat in there and be her retired sled dog self that she is. She can go as far or as little as she wants to go. So last time we went out, she actually got 5 miles in. So she's usually averaging 2 to 4 miles. She went 5 last time, and those are with rest. Now, when we're off leash and we're running the farm areas where we run what I call free ranging, she'll be able to get in 5 miles easy, believe it or not. Now you got to go their own pace, of course. It's just that when, especially her, because a lot of people that have Huskies will know this, she's very independent and very dominant, and she wants it to be her way. So when she's attached to something, just that leash, a leash is a lot of negativity to a lot of dogs. And that's why I counter the leash, or I balance it with giving them off-leash time. But that's a really hard concept to train into a Husky. I'm an expert at that because I've done it for so long and I understand the mind of a Husky. So a lot of that's on my training website. It's called idogettame.com. I've got everything from, all the videos and all the information from everything I've done compiled all over the internet. Just put WooFDriver in Google and see what you come up with. I don't even know what I'm going to come up with. I've been doing this so long. I do it every once in a while for a chuckle. So that's where we're at, folks. By the way, I don't think you've seen these before. I've mentioned them earlier. I'll show you. We're going to go with Jag. Hi, Jaggy. Let me show you his collar. He's wearing a specialized collar. He's got such thick fur. Right there. It's called a link. Can you see that? Thank you, good boy. Thank you. The link is kind of a new, well, it's one of the newer GPS collars. And the link collar actually tracks their activity level, which is kind of nice at home. You know if they're being active, and you can see if a dog normally, I'm not sure of the metrics, what they're using, but at least it gives you something to go by. To track them to see, hey, they get so much activity usually a day when we're at home. And then if that changes, you might know something's up with them. Either they're tired from doing other activities in the field or they're not feeling well. It's kind of a, I guess a good metric once you learn the way it works to set your own reminder, essentially. See how the dog's feeling. See how, like when I run them, we've gone as much as 30 miles before. So I like to see how they feel the next day. Some of the dogs, if they're tired, some of the dogs, if they show any signs that was too much, I'll be able to tell by their activity level sometimes the next day. So I use all these different tools, because again, I've been doing this for years, and the newer technologies are phenomenal. But that link collar also, the main purpose of it is to let you know if the dog is outside, if he's not near you, or if he's outside of the base station. The base station covers a fairly good area, so you put a base station in your house, you have the link collar on the dog if he's outside in the yard and should wander away. Now we have fenced yards, but huskies can get through that. A lot of dogs can get through a lot of fences. So if they would ever wander, which mine don't, but others can, and I'm not saying it can't happen. So what we do is, the link collar will tell you if they're out of range. And it helps when we're doing our activities we do, because the dogs, again, are trained, but when we're free ranging, sometimes the dogs in snow and even in the midsummer or in the late summer when we go through the farms and the corn's high in the fields and I let them meander through there, if they would ever, I can track them on the GPS collar essentially. So you can see Zara. How cute is that? Just put his head there. Whoop, sorry, Jimmy. And that's where we're at. So, any questions you have for me? Hello, Mimi, how are you? And Sandy, how are you doing? Facebook tells you everybody that's watching. So, for those of you just joining, I'll tell you the conditions once again. It's roughly about 28 degrees. Got some light hail happening. It was a little heavier before. It's supposed to snow probably about an inch or two here. Getting the dogs out today because of my schedule. But remember, the dogs are built for adverse conditions. It's us humans that have a tough time adapting to them. This is Princess's seat, specialty seat. This is actually was a hard seat to find. The reason being because it's got a 3-point system where it hooks up 3 spots to the dog's specialized harness that goes with that, and that keeps her in place, because anytime you put a dog somewhere, it's probably not going to stay, especially an active dog like a husky. Even though she's elderly and what we call retired, she still wants to get out and be with her wolf pack. So the seat keeps her secure and also gives her a sense of comfort as it keeps her attached. And she's only in there when she wants to rest. But you can see it's all comfort lined and everything. Actually, the hail's letting up, so it's becoming hopefully a nicer day. So that seat is very specialized. As I was saying, it's made for motorcycles. I actually have a motorcycle where you can ride the dog safely, and that's when they're in the seat like that, they're more secure, or as secure as we are when we're seat belted in. So this bike is what I call, again, the big wheels bike. If you were a kid, if you can remember the big wheels. Hey, ready for snow to go away. Mimi's saying they got 4 inches. Wow, I know her husky's loving it. We don't have any snow on the ground. We've just had the frigid temperatures. It's supposed to get about, like I said, an inch or 2, but it'll quickly be gone as the temperatures are supposed to rise this week. Might even getting close to 60. So with this bike, as I was saying, if you remember when some of us were a little older, we might remember something called big wheels. It was a bike that we had, or a vehicle for kids that had 2 big wheels in the front, 1 in the back. This vehicle reminds me of that, so I call it that. These are the dog rails where the dog's attached to. And as you can see, it's spring-loaded. The reason being, so the dog knows how much room they have to the tether. Sometimes different trails I can give them more or less room, but they can feel it so there's not a sudden jerk. If we have to stop suddenly, or if they want to chase something catches their attention, or when they do a bathroom stop, sometimes we don't know it right away, but we can feel it start to tug a little bit, some mild pressure on the dog, and we're ready to stop. Now, real sled dogs will not stop to go to the bathroom because they can't stop a whole team to do it. So they learn to go to the bathroom as they ride, as they drive, as they mush. Jag will do that. The other dogs are used to it. Now, Jag's the smallest one, so he's learned to adapt to that. But the other dogs kind of just stop, which is fine. That's why I have a team with me, and that's why I use mirrors, and I have the feel on the bike when I know that one of the dogs needs to take a bathroom break. There's a quick story about that. I was doing an event for Barks, which is Baltimore Association, which is Barks is the local shelter in Baltimore City. And sorry, there's a train running in the background here. And we were doing an event. They had like a 5K run or something. to raise money and awareness for shelter dogs. And they wanted me to bring my team, the Wolf Pack. There's a train, by the way, folks. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of cool. And you notice the dogs, they don't care at all because they're used to this. So I did the Barks event, which is called Barktoberfest. And I had one of the newscasters, local newscasters, I started their run. And it was so funny because when I was out there running the dogs with her in the cart, we were using the 2-seater bike. She actually, I stopped and she said, "Why are you stopping?" And I said, "Oh, the dog's going to the bathroom." She's like, "Oh my God, how did you know that?" Because I got the feel and I can see their first inclination of when they need to go, and boom, we stop. So pretty cool stuff. Chris, are you waiting for me? Okay, you need me? Okay, so I'm gonna have to end the broadcast. Mimi, your cousin lives in Winchester, Maryland. Wow. And she had to go get her daughter from school. Yeah, it's sleeting in a lot of places in Maryland. Luckily, it was just a little bit of sleet here, and it's let up for a little while. We can run in it. It's just driving in it. So, but the vehicle we travel in, the jumbo jet truck liner there, dog limo as we call it, different areas, does have 4-wheel drive. It's capable of going through all that, with the big tires, etc. So we're jamming out to the Wolf tunes. I just love it. Hope everyone enjoyed the quick dissertation here on everything. And by the way, these are designed to hold like water containers for the dogs. Everything on the bike has a purpose. This is totally dog-centric, everything I do in my life. So that's why we do what we do. And I'm gonna help the guys. We have specialized ramps and we have an electric winch up there to unload the bike, but we didn't bring it with us today because that bike is particularly light. So, and there's 3 of us, so we can take it off ourselves quicker. So I am WooFDriver, and I'm signing off right now. Hope you have a great day. I'll try to come to you live from the trail if I can. Have a great day, folks. Thanks so much for joining us.